Hey guys, my name is Dylan, and in this story time, I'm going to be telling you about the time I got caught drinking lean, and it was actually in school, so it was pretty crazy. I'm very surprised I didn't get suspended. The repercussions were actually not that bad. I got retracked, which was in-school suspension for about 2 days, and my other friend got suspended for like 2 weeks. So that was pretty crazy. But that's enough for the introduction. Let's just get right into the story time. So it was the end of the school year, pretty close. Everybody was excited. We were in fourth period, PE. So it was pretty close to the end of the day. So we were just like kind of done and ready to go home. And so yeah, my friend comes up to me and let me just tell you a little bit about my friend. His name is Storm, and he's kind of known for getting in trouble and stuff. Like, he doesn't really have good relationships with the teachers. So that's probably a little bit with what had to do with, him getting suspended. But yeah, so he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, dude, you wanna, drink some lean?" And my stupid mind was like, okay, if you haven't tried something, then you should obviously try it, which is not good advice. I'm not telling you do that. That's terrible advice. Yeah, just, kind of think responsibly and use common sense. I obviously wasn't at this point. I mean, I was 13 years old, thought I was king of the world. But yeah, he comes up to me. It's about the end of PE. We're getting dressed in, and he was like, "Hey, dude, you want to try some lean?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." He was like, "Okay, meet me here at the end of PE." And I was like, "All right." So we got dressed in, and we went where he told me to meet him. And it's actually like behind this wall. And like, there's a camera and you can't see us because there's a wall right there, but there's this one big open spot where, anybody could see us. So we're sitting there, he whips out a canteen, and I'm like, okay, here we go. About to try some lean. So I take a couple sips of it, and I'm like, okay. Tastes pretty hardcore, tastes like cough syrup. And then everybody sees us and is like, hey, what's up? Let me get a sip. And I was like, oh my God, these idiots are going to get us caught. So everybody's crowding around us, which causes the teacher to look at us. And I see him look at us, and I'm like, oh God, that's not good. So everybody starts parting their ways and starts splitting up and goes into the line to go to their next period. And so me and my friend Storm were right next to each other in the line, and he asked me to carry it for him. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I don't see why. So I tucked it in my little hoodie pocket, and this thing is huge. I'm telling you, this canteen is like, I don't know, like 5 inches wide. So it's clearly popping right out of my hoodie. And I'm just like, oh God. So I'm trying my best to try and hide it and stuff, but it didn't really work that well. So we're walking out, and the coach is right there waiting for us. And he pulls us out of the line, and he's like, hey, what are y'all doing? And we're like, what? And he's just like, come over here. And I was like, all right. And he was like, hand it to me. And I was like, oh God, he knows, he saw. So I was like, okay, because there was no point in even trying to hide it and being like, what are you talking about? Because he would have ended up seeing it anyway if he searched us. So yeah, I handed it to him right off the bat. And each grade has like a certain, like, I guess you could say vice principal, you could call it. So, and she was scary. She was terrifying. Like, she looked like a man. And it was just, everybody was scared of her. So yeah, she comes up and she's got it in her hand, and she's like, oh, what is this? What are y'all drinking? And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God. And Storm's like trying to explain it to him, and I'm just like, oh God, this isn't going to work. We're screwed. We're so done. we're getting expelled for sure. And thank God we didn't. So yeah, she takes us down to the office where our little, I guess you could say, grade vice principal was. And we sat outside of his office because he was dealing with some other people, which I didn't know. I think they got in a fight or something. And he came out and he handed us clipboards, right, kind of like a statement. And he told us to write down, like, the events leading up to it and what happened. So we did that, and my friend, Aniston, my best friend, Aniston, I've known him since, like, kindergarten. Cool dude. He's awesome. So, yeah, like, my class is going to lunch at this point, so I've been sitting out there for, like, 30 minutes, and I'm like, Jesus, when is this going to end? So he walks up, and he's like, dude, what happened? And I was like, man, we got caught drinking lean, dude. I'm so screwed. And he's like, dang, man. And then, of course, he keeps walking because he'd get in trouble if he didn't. So he finally calls us into his office, and we're sitting there talking, and he's basically explaining, you know, like, he whips out this big book of, like, I guess you could say offenses to get you in trouble. So he's going all this crap like B112 or some stupid crap like that, and he's like naming them out, and then Storm's basically explaining them to me like, this is this and this. So I was like, okay. And then he's like, since this is your first time getting in trouble this year, I'm only going to give you retract for 2 days. And I was like, okay, cool, that's fair enough. And so that I had to call my grandma because that's who I was living with at the time. And she's like, oh my gosh, she'll like go off. She's crazy. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, well, I'm not calling her crazy. I love her, of course. But, yeah, I had to call her and she was like, what? And freaking out. And I was like, oh God. Because I got to deal with that when I get home, so I was super scared. So yeah, that happened. Didn't get expelled. I'm really happy about that. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe, all that crap. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next story time.